So what's our unique selling distinction? Well, I guess it's the thing that sets us apart. And one of the good examples that I can use globally, I'm sure this applies anywhere in the world, but certainly in Australia, I've done a lot of research. If I, and I do, go to different towns and run seminars, I tend to ask this question: who's ever used a plumber, an electrician? Most people put that up their hands, and I'm certainly not being rude toward that industry. But I ask the question, what irks you most about their fraternity? What irks you most about using a plumber? What do you think most people respond with? They never
turn up on time.
No, that's right. Now, whether that's the truth or not, that's the perception. They never turn up on time. You know, and we've all had that experience where you ring up and you say, look, I've had a plumbing challenge. Yep, be there tomorrow. Today? No, tomorrow. Be sometime between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. So you've got to take a day out. And they rarely turn up at 8 a.m. If you notice, you sort of get closer to the 8 p.m. and then they come. Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm not particularly handy with my hands. In fact, I'm not even allowed to do much of the handiwork at home because I tend to cause more challenges than make good. But if I told you I knew something would make me the #1 plumber in any part of Australia right now, would you be interested in knowing what that is? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Let me share with you. I'd go into a town, I'd take an advertisement out on television, radio, newspaper, and the advertisement might say something like this: if using a plumber has caused you frustration because they rarely turn up on time, we understand. Call us, we'll be there within 15 minutes or it's free. My question is, how many calls will I get? People say, oh, hundreds, thousands, millions, but you wouldn't be able to deliver on the promise. That's another challenge. We'll talk about that a bit later. But the question is, how many calls will I get? Lots. My question, though, is why? Because it's very important. Why would I get lots of calls? What have I been able to address? What have I been able to satisfy? The very thing that frustrates people, I've been able to go in the opposite direction and say, we won't do that to you. When you call us, we'll be there within 50. Oh, wow, wouldn't that be amazing? Or it's free. So the very thing, I've done the research says, we don't like the way you treat us. And we've said, okay, let's go in the opposite direction. So what am I saying? Well, when we're looking for our unique selling distinction, we need to identify what sets us apart. We need to be able to go to our clients and ask 3 questions. Question 1, what do you think about our service? That's a very hard question to go back. If you've got a database over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years of 100,000, a million, it's very hard to go back, particularly if you know some of the history and know that you've upset people, to go back and ring them, speak to them and say, question 1, what do you think about our service? Irrespective of how they answer, here's question 2, why do you say that? So question 1 would be, what do you think about our service? Question 2, why do you say that? So to give you an example, what might happen there is, what do you think? Oh, your service is terrific. Question 2, why do you say that? You always deliver on time. Question 1, what do you think about our service? Lousy. Why do you say that? You never deliver on time. This is interesting. If you rang 100 people, 60% say you deliver on time, and the same people and the same product, and 40% say you don't deliver on time. Which is correct? Both, because it's a perception. Now, you may choose to say, we're going to ignore the 40%. We're just happy with the 60% that believe we're doing a good job. Or you might say, gee, those stats are a little high. Let's go dig a bit deeper and find out what their perception of delivery is. You see, a person that says you deliver on time is okay about a 1-week delivery, for example. The people that say you don't deliver on time want it within 2 days. But here's my point. When you do enough market research, you ask enough questions, you establish what would you want for us to do in order to set us apart. What would you want us to do to give you a wow experience, a wow service? By the way, question 3 in this whole analogy is, what other things can you share with us that would help us become better at what we do? What other things can you share with us that would help us become better at what we do? It's important in this day and age where everyone says, oh, price, 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 because we're living in a price-conscious world where if that's all we've got to rely on, we won't need human beings to interact. We can just now say, well, there's the best price. We need to look at what would set us apart. How do we give people awesome service, a wow experience that even if our product is $50 more expensive per se, we still may have the opportunity to win that because we deliver something well and over and above. We created this concept, which I'd just like to put on the whiteboard. It's called What's in the Box. And very, very simply, and for our viewers right now, wherever they're watching, there's more notes on this. We say, imagine you had a box. Imagine you could go into a client and sit down, ask them all the questions that we spoke of, what's important to